Next up, we talked about HC0. We talked about
Yeah.
DJI. So that only leaves Walksnail. And who am I
Yes.
leaving out? Analog.
Well,
Uh, that's a joke. Some of you guys don't understand my humor and take me way too seriously. That's a joke. Analog is fine. Uh, what's the Walksnail news, Blunty?
all right. So Walksnail sent out an email, like I think it was about 10, 11, 12 days ago, something like that, because we didn't do a show last week. But we're bringing you this information. So as of like 10, 11, 12 days ago, around the beginning of November, a couple of days in, they had sold 1,500 sets of VRXs, which is a pretty big number.
That's a giant number.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big number. We were just
Um,
talking about 600 HD0 goggles and being impressed. Of course, the HD0 goggles come in at $600. This is a $200 kit, so much more
yes.
accessible.
Also a
1,500.
pre-order though. This is also the same situation where they're getting them early December. They're pre-ordering for an early December order.
Yeah.
But we also got this month. They've been doing deals. We talked about their other deals that we're doing. I want to let you know they are doing a couple more deals that seem to be going through all of November. The first one is that they are doing a combo, $159 off the combo if you want to get 2 avatars and the goggles. So this is like a goggles bundle. It's been hard to get those cheaper. I mean, Fat Truck's been trying to push them down, but. And then the last combo, the last thing we have here is another deal where they're bundling drones with them. So if you were trying to get the Beta FPV or GEP-RC or FlyWoo with the next order, if you scroll down to that one, you could also get those as an option. So
Nice, nice. I feel like Cadix slash Walksnail is feeling the pressure from the impending release of the O3 Air unit, which has been sort of coming soon forever, and probably from the HD0 system as well. And they are trying to build as big a user base of customers as they can, and I think that it's probably working. I mean, a lot of people seem to be jumping on it.
yeah, absolutely. They're definitely pushing it hard. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see on the other end of it how much feedback we get from people using it and how powerful the system is and stuff. But I'm sure they got to be. It seems like from all the sales that we've been seeing, stuff's not selling well. We've seen a lot of these avatar sales. We've seen a lot of that before this.
Rotor Riot pushing it with the
Yeah.
30-day money back guarantee.
Yeah,
I mean, the
REG's
thing.
got it on Black Friday sale. I'm not sure if that's because of this or not, but
Yeah.
like they're also doing a $150 gift card if you buy them from REQ. So
And the thing is, like, you don't have to say just because there's a promotion, oh, therefore it must not be selling well. But when there's a promotion, when in 2020, when you tried to buy a graphics card, there were no promotions on graphics cards. You were
Right.
paying 2x or 3x retail
Yeah.
because everybody wanted them.
If they're all selling, nobody's doing a promotion. That's just facts.
Why would they do that?
That's, yeah.
So the fact that they're doing promotions does indicate that they're not selling as fast as they might like. But I think the right thing to do in that case is promotions like this, and it remains to be seen how much of people's hesitation is because they're worried and then end up being happy, and how much of it is because they just don't believe in the product and don't want it. I definitely have seen people posting and saying, "Oh, I really like this." Some of them.
It seems like as long as they keep pushing the Walksnail system, I mean, I guess it depends on where O3 Air unit lands, but the cost of it seems likely that Walksnail will always have a niche there, especially if DJI pushes away from the Air unit Vista world.
That's the big one.
RunCam continues to say, they made another post, I didn't pull, but they made another post reassuring everyone they will continue to have Air units and Vistas, or Vistas especially. Like
Cadix made that same post.
Right.
Cadix made that same post,
like,
and then no.
But Walksnail definitely, I think, has a niche. They are drawing people who are basically interested in open source, but they are not open source, which I think is interesting. They've actually kind of been against anybody working on their system. I think maybe for legal reasons, we don't know. But like we talked about before, they changed the root password when people were doing stuff to the goggles. So while they are user focused, they're taking a lot of feedback. They're trying to improve the system. They're not like actually doing anything open source. They're not like, so it's kind of riding the gap. Whereas HD0 we're seeing is going to go totally open source as long as they follow their promises. Now that the goggles are shipping, we should see that happen pretty soon. I don't know. It'll be interesting, the whole kind of ecosystem and market we have here. But I do think there's room for Walksnail.
Yeah.
If they keep pushing, they keep progressing, they keep putting these goggles and VRXs in people's hands, and keep producing VTXs, I think there's room for them to continue to grow the user base.
I think they know that once you commit to the goggles, then you're incentivized to buy a bunch of video transmitters and build out your fleet. And maybe, even if maybe it's not the system that you would have 100% preferred, maybe it was the number 2 system. Once you've got it, you're going to kind of tend to stick with it. And I think that's part of their motivation for trying to get people to commit to it and buy it. I definitely think that if DJI moves away from the V2 system and the Vistas and the air units dry up, which everybody says is not going to happen, but everybody says a lot of things, and then sometimes things happen, that's going to be a big benefit, a big boon for Walksnail, because they're going to totally fill that gap.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
If DJI keeps making the V2 goggles and the Vistas and the air units, I think Walksnail has a much, much harder job to convince people that they're better, because they're so similar.
I mean, the thing Walksnail has to do is continue to do this. Cadex has to continue to push the system like this. Like, it can't be just like November, December, January, and then there's like a trickle off where they stop doing the user interaction, they stop doing the feedback, and they stop doing the betas. Like, I think this system will live or die by that interaction with users, and that like back and forth, and that like pushing the system every little tiny inch they can, and every single user feature that can be software added, they need to be adding. Like that will win them the market share that they have to survive, I think. Like, if they'd stop any of that, I really don't. I don't know, like 6 months to a year, I don't think there's like, I don't know how much legs it has.
An uphill slog is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And DJI is not going to make it easy for them. But kudos to them, Blunty. I mean, not to reminisce and get like old Grandpa Joshua, but I remember when we all thought, and I don't think I was alone in this, we all thought that we looked at things like Connex ProSight, and we're like, well, yeah, it's not, there's some problems with it. And then DJI comes out and we're like, oh, well, sure, DJI can do it, I guess, but surely no one else could do it. And now we've got Walksnail, we've got HD0, we've got, so that's pretty much it. But it's nice to see other people doing it. It's a very interesting time to be alive. There's no doubt.
Absolutely.